they probably deserve a little more respect. They've won a bunch of games in a row. They're playing really well. They also, the team they beat the living crap out of is the Chargers, who I think we all sort of thought would be where Denver is. If you told me an AFC West team was going to be 9-5 at this point of the season and have its quarterback playing better than we expected because of their coach and probably not be a real Super Bowl contender, but a really good football team that could win a playoff game, right? That's ahead of schedule. I would have put all my money on the Chargers, wouldn't you? Put all my money on the Harbaugh brother that's out west. Do you ever have trouble remembering John versus Jim? Can we just go East Harbaugh and West Harbaugh?
That would simplify things. The thing I struggle with between John and Jim is just really quickly, like, which one's with the Ravens, which one's with the Chargers.
Right.
Just so I don't screw it up.
My brother's a Bob. Do you think people have trouble with Bill and Bob?
Yes, I do.
You think that's a thing?
Yes.
My brother is here, and my buddy Jeff is here, who listens to the show. And I hope Bob never listens. And Jeff turns to me, as we were all going to meet up yesterday, and goes, "What's Bobby's kids' names?" And Bobby's kids' names are not Luke and Sarah. And I go, Luke and Sarah, and then I couldn't hold it. I feel like I missed a great opportunity for a great joke.
I'm glad your conscience kicked in.
Because he would have walked in and be like, oh, how's little Luke doing? I really wanted to do it.
I'm glad you cracked and you couldn't hold it.
You think that would have been a little obnoxious?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Who impressed you the most over the course of the NFL weekend? For me, I got to tell you, for me, I think the game that stands out, other than here's one more thing before we get into that. Am I supposed to go to the Raiders game tonight? There's 2 Monday Night Football games tonight. Bears at Vikings, Falcons at Raiders. I'm tempted to go. I think I'm supposed to go out of just pure, I'm in Vegas. I think I'm going to have the night off. I don't want to.
Here's the
see the Raiders play football.
Should you go? No, it's not a very good game. Kirk Cousins hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in what feels like 3 months. The Raiders are terrible at football. But, if you go to this game, you will not have to watch the Chicago Bears.
And Bears at Vikings. The Bears are going to be the first team in history to score negative points. If you lose a game, 30-0, and 2 of the opponent's points are from a safety, isn't it technically 28 to -2?
I mean, I could see why you would look at it that way.
That is a possible outcome. That's a possible outcome.
I really hope if they're going to lose, they just lose in a regular fashion tonight.
All right, so I thought Packers beating the Seahawks was the most outside of the obvious Bills-Lions game and the Steelers-Eagles games. The other game, the non-2 marquee games, I thought Packers beating the Seahawks was the most revelatory game of the weekend. But you could make a case for the Broncos win for the reasons that we've talked about. I think you could make a case for Tampa Bay's just destruction of L.A. I don't understand why there's 2 Monday Night Football games, but particularly these games. Why are these games? Bears-Vikings, I sort of understand. We all thought the Bears were a minimum 10-win team. That was a universal belief out there.
But nobody thought the Vikings would be 11 wins. We thought the Vikings were going to struggle this year.
Yeah, this actually probably was best chalked up as a 5-9 versus a 5-9 team. And the Raiders aren't good ever. And but they're the same time. These games, they're the Bears-Vikings game starts at 8 o'clock Eastern time, and the Falcons-Raiders game starts 30 minutes later. Why don't you just have Falcons-Raiders start early start late since it's on the West Coast? You can't watch both games anyway. From a ratings perspective, it doesn't even make sense.
And I'm sure at some point on both broadcasts, they'll give you picture-in-picture so you can see what's going on in the other game, and it'll be more distracting than anything.
Yeah, you'll be watching Falcons at Raiders, and then they'll flash to Caleb Williams looking like he wants to crawl into a hole and disappear from the face of the earth. And the score will be, 15 to -2. It's really 13 to -2, but it'll be 15 to nothing. And that'll be the situation. I did sometimes in sports, most times in sports, you don't really know how you feel until you know, if you don't have a rooting interest. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I didn't grow up as a Chiefs fan. I grew up as a Bears fan. I covered the Chiefs. A lot of my friends covered the Chiefs a lot more than I did. The late, wonderful Trez Paylor being a great example. When I saw the news that Mahomes had that ankle injury, when I saw him go off the field and not come back in, that's when I realized I know some people are over it. I'm not. I want the Chiefs to win another one. I don't know what that says about me. I think I just want greatness. It's the same thing with the Warriors. I like the Warriors winning because I like the idea that I get to, as a fan, experience some remarkable team. And I like Steph Curry. And Mahomes seems like a nice guy. But I'm all in on the Chiefs. I would venture to believe most people had the opposite reaction. I would venture to believe most people, secretly or not so secretly, were thrilled the guy might be hurt. Which is not cool.
A lot of that on social media yesterday.
Yeah, me too. Again, in my very representative scientific sample size of 6, 7, 8 random people at a poker table. And I don't ever say anything when they're talking sports. It wasn't even, it was, maybe they'll be hurt, maybe they'll be beatable. It was almost, thank God that this bully is not coming to school this week. Because people were so afraid of that team. Mahomes goes down, that Chiefs team is nothing. Who's the best team in the NFL that could lose their quarterback and still get the furthest? I think the answer is the Vikings.
Because they basically did.
Yeah. They've already done it.
Well, we know it's certainly not the Bills.
It's not. No, I think the Bills are the most. The Bills might be more reliant on Josh Allen than the Chiefs are on Patrick Mahomes, because at least there's a Chris Jones factor on the other side of the ball.
I absolutely agree with that.
You could make. I don't buy this. You could make a case for Detroit because they have won games where Goff has turned the ball over 5 times, but I just think what he does offensively is so important, and Detroit's inconsistency, their inability to put both. They can do both defense and offense at the highest level in the NFL, but they can also be bad at both. It's very weird. It's coaching, right? It's these margins. It's not the Steelers because they're not on that level. The Ravens, probably not quite on that level. The Eagles, I think if Jalen Hurts goes down, the Eagles are toast. Whatever the complaints of the receivers. All right. Fun show. We're back tomorrow. Thank you to Mike Gold Jr. Thank you to Pretty Daddy. And thank you for listening. I'm Bill Ryder. Appreciate you very much. See you back here tomorrow on Ryder Than You.
Say, for the ones who get it done, Grainger is offering high-quality supplies and solutions for every single industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and the experience to answer your toughest questions. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner can help you keep your facility safe and your people even safer. So, call, click, Grainger.com, or just stop on by. Grainger.com.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are.
Pirate fans, your East Carolina football team is bowling again. New head coach Blake Harrell leads the charge as the Pirates take on in-state rival North Carolina State in the Military Bowl Saturday, December 28th in Annapolis, Maryland. Priority matters, so Pirate Club members get your tickets by going to ECUPirates.com or by calling 1-800-DIAL-ECU. Kickoff between the Pirates and the Pack is set for 5:45. Get your tickets today.
Joy to the world, more car deals are here. 'Tis the season to be jolly, and Doug Henry is spreading holiday cheer near and far with huge deals for everyone that comes in to register. You can win up to $20,000 up until December 24th. Doug Henry has brand new inventory arriving daily, so go check them out this holiday season. Doug Henry is easy to find on the corner of Greenwood Boulevard and Memorial Drive, and always online at DougHenryGreenville.com.
The holidays are here, and so is the perfect drink to celebrate. Head to Tub Thumpers Beverage House at 623 Red Banks Road in Greenville for a great selection of holiday craft beers, wine, and mead. From rich stouts and spiced ales to seasonal wines and meads, they have everything to make your celebrations extra special. Whether you're hosting a holiday gathering or just looking for a festive treat, Tub Thumpers has a perfect beverage for every toast. Visit Tub Thumpers Beverage House today, the home of holiday cheer and the best seasonal drinks in town.
This holiday season, get ready to glow like never before. Beauty Bar Medi Spa invites you to experience the magic of self-care with treatments that enhance your natural beauty. From Botox to filler, skincare, and more, this is your time to shine. And starting Monday, December 2nd, we're kicking off our 12 days of Christmas. Each day will feature a new opportunity to save on your favorite services and products. But don't wait. These deals are only available for one day. Stop by Beauty Bar Medi Spa at 1021 Red Banks Road, Greenville, or visit beautybarmedispa.com. Your glow up awaits at Beauty Bar Medi Spa, your holiday beauty destination.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, this is State Farm agent Timothy Sawyer right here in Greenville. We can switch your auto and home insurance so you can start saving today. My team and I are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Timothy Sawyer State Farm, it's easy to switch and save. Just give us a call, 493-0002. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Dank Burrito is now open in Greenville. Dank is your ticket to adventure in a tortilla. We combine bold flavors to make new kinds of burritos, tacos, and bowls like honey truffle buffalo chicken or teriyaki shrimp. Once you go Dank, you'll never want the same boring burrito again. Dank Burrito is also the official burrito of the ECU Pirates, which we all know and love here in G Vegas. We're open now at 108 Red Banks Road in Greenville. Come join the Dank Burrito Mafia. Hope to see y'all soon.
Winter is here, but Stroud's Marine in Greenville is still your go-to spot for your boat projects and repairs. Now's the perfect time to get your boat ready for when the warm weather comes. Don't wait till spring. They've got you covered with outboard parts at great prices. Plus, they're running clearance sales on select items, so you can get ready for next season without breaking the bank. Stay up to date with the latest deals, parts, and promotions by following them on social media. Stop by the shop at 865 Rivet Street in Greenville. For more information, head to StroudsMarine.com. Strouds Marine, your best source for salvaged outboard parts.
At United Bank, banking means more than financial solutions. It means rallying around the causes that are important to our customers, employees, and communities. While we have grown in size and presence, we have never forgotten our roots. By giving back to our local communities and funding business development, we help fuel economic growth. Our success is your success. Because to us, this is home. Go Pirates! Bankwithunited.com, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 at 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern Carolina's longest-running sports radio show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show is powered by Greenville Utilities and also brought to you by
The Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg, Bojangles, Michelob Ultra, East Coast Grading, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Utilities, Papa John's, Taft and Hagler, The Rick House, and Tiebreakers.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome into our show. It is a jam-packed hour to come as we continue to get you set for the upcoming Military Bowl between East Carolina and North Carolina State. We're going to kick off our show with Steve Beck. He's the executive director of the Military Bowl. And then we're going to talk about the last time that NC State and East Carolina faced off in a bowl game. That, of course, January 1st, 1992, the Peach Bowl down in Atlanta, Georgia. Quarterback Jeff Blake will join us. Linebacker Robert Jones will join us. Tight end Luke Fisher, who caught the game-winning touchdown pass, will join us. Hunter Gallimore, who had a great game in that game, the wide receiver, he'll also join us. And we've got a surprise or two coming up as well. So we've got a big show to come. Steve Beck kicks it off for us, the executive director of the Military Bowl, coming up next on The Brian Bailey Show. Stay tuned.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls, because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's bow time.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Vaughn. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Did you know that GUC's utility rates are not only low in the region, but also the state? That's right. When you combine the average electric, water, wastewater, and natural gas into one bill, only people in 2 of the 15 largest cities pay less than GUC customers. Only 2. Low rates and high reliability. Working in the best interest of the community rather than shareholders. That's the value of public utilities. That's the value of GUC.
This is proud ECU alumni David Price of David Price Construction. As a leading general contracting firm, we specialize in commercial construction and renovation. Whether it's updating your office space, renovating your restaurant, or building a new retail store, our team at David Price Construction is ready to assist. We are committed to delivering quality, value, and customer satisfaction across all of our projects. So give us a call at 919-820-3612 or find us online at davidpriceconstruction.com. Go Pirates.
Hey there, Eastern North Carolina. Jeff Stein at Brown & Wood. The Brown & Wood service specials include a tire price match guarantee, a $199 AC Delco front brake pad installation special. We also have a brake rotor rebate of $40 and a synthetic oil change on most vehicles for $89.95. Don't forget, free pickup and drop-off at Brown & Wood. 89 years in business, 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 rooftops, and 1 goal: to make sure you leave a happy customer.
Happy holidays, folks. This is Captain Bo Brooks from Pirate Waters Outfitter, 108 North Market Street, downtown Washington, where we have gifts for everyone, including Turtle Box, Smithy Cast Ironware, AFCO Marshware, and Bubble Blade products. We also are a fully functional fly shop, and we carry Grundon's offshore foul weather gear. Come see us this holiday season and get the gift for the one you love in Washington, North Carolina.
Pirate Radio.
See that door right there? One marked pirate. You think a pirate lives in there?
The voice of the pirate nation.
I see a door marked private. Is that the door you're talking about?
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, working for our community, not for shareholders. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this Monday, getting you set for the upcoming Military Bowl. East Carolina 7-5, NC State at 6-6. December the 28th, a 5:45 kickoff on ESPN. And joining us right now to kick off today's show, Steve Beck, the executive director of the Military Bowl. Steve, welcome to our show.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for.
When you think about this matchup, how excited were you and the folks on the board with the Military Bowl to get East Carolina and North Carolina State?
Yeah, as you know, cross-state rivalry, it's really exciting. I mean, we know these Pirate fans, they really travel well, and we're hoping that they do it this year again.
Last time we were there, obviously, was the COVID situation with Boston College. You know, our nation has come a long way since then. But when you think back to that game, before we go forward, but how disappointing was it that year with all the Pirate fans that were there? Now, they enjoyed themselves that night, but we didn't get a game to play. I think a lot of people were disappointed in that, but it's one of those things that, you know, it happened at a couple of bowls, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, and it was really terrible. I'll tell you, it was 26 hours before the game. We're in the NCAA mandatory meeting with all the officials and operations staff from both teams going over everything. And got a call from the AD from Boston College at the time, was Pat Kraft, who's now at Penn State, and said, Steve, we just can't go. We got over 40 kids with COVID, and we're going to have to back out. And I'm like, oh, my God. It was just unbelievable. But I'll tell you, I was up in Annapolis, and Pirate Nation was there. They were everywhere. And it was just terrible, to have to travel up and go through all that and then get it canceled.
Let's go over this year's game now. The Pirates will leave on Christmas Eve. What are some of the things and some of the events planned for the team that you guys are looking forward to having both East Carolina and North Carolina State be a part of?
Yeah, we got some great events. We open up with a welcome reception, and then we go we have a private tour of the U.S. Capitol, which is really a great tour. Then we have mall and monument tours on buses. They drive at night through the town, going to a bunch of places. And, of course, we're going bowling.
Oh, you got to go bowling.
So we got that as well.
Yeah, you got to go bowling. What about on the day before the game? I know there's some events, and I know there's some events. The parade is early on game day, but what are some of those events on the day before the game?
Yeah, we got a Miracle on West Street, which is in the afternoon of the 27th. So the Budweiser Clydesdales will be there, and there's all kind of tents set up for food and be able to buy gear, that kind of stuff. And, of course, the whole town on West Street is just surrounded by restaurants and bars, and it's just really a fantastic atmosphere. And then the next day we open up with our tailgate our parade at 2 o'clock, and that'll start at City Dock and go all the way up to the stadium. We'll have, again, the Clydesdales, both team bands, 8 to 10 Medal of Honor recipients will be in attendance, and there's about 70-some different elements in the parade. And then that'll go into our tailgate where we have Jimmy Charles performing from Nashville. He's coming up again. He was there last year, does a fantastic job, and we've got all the Bud Build-A-Bars and every military branch represented, so it's really a great atmosphere.
So fans are coming up on that Friday, the 27th. The place to go is what'd you call that again? The Miracle?
Miracle on West. Yep, it's the main street in downtown Annapolis. Well, Main Street is Main Street, but it's right off of Main Street, and it'll be closed down, and people will be walking around. Usually we get about 5,000 to 10,000 people there, so it's really fun.
Wow, 5,000 to 10,000 people. I'm looking forward to that. How about ticket sales for the game? Have ticket sales gone?
Ticket sales have been okay, not fantastic like usually, but they've been okay. I mean, we'll be somewhere between, if I had to guess, 25,000 to 30,000 in a 30,000-seat stadium. So we really want the Pirate Nation to, buy their tickets from East Carolina. Of course, that benefits the university directly. So if they can't find what they want there, you can go to militarybowl.org. But the best way to get them is directly through ECU.
Some of the other events, I know you kind of center all that stuff around the military, which is really a cool thing. But how has the military kind of embraced this bowl game?
Oh, the Pentagon, we're on basically weekly calls with the Pentagon, and they show up with all the different branches, elements. We'll have about 2,000 tickets going to USO and to VetTix. So we'll have a lot of veterans and active duty people there. And then it also benefits, the game benefits Patriot Point, which is the Military Bowl Foundation's 294-acre retreat center for our nation's wounded, ill, and injured and their families and caregivers, right outside of Cambridge, Maryland. It's about an hour and 15 minutes from Annapolis, and it's really just a tremendous place. We had 44 retreats last year, over 500 guests, and we're doing just as well this year.
Steve Beck is the executive director of the Military Bowl. Okay, Steve, I know you're busy this week. I know you got a lot of stuff going on with the holidays and the bowl game, but what's your final message to Pirate fans out there?
Just show up, Pirate fans. We got a big rivalry there with NC State, and they're going to be there, so we need everybody to show up and support their university.
That sounds good. Steve Beck, again, the executive director of the Military Bowl. Steve, thanks so much for your time on this Monday. We certainly appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you coming up right after Christmas for the Military Bowl.
Yep. Thank you, Brian. Anytime.
All right. Steve Beck, Executive Director, Military Bowl, as East Carolina and NC State get set to battle on December the 28th. Now, the rest of our show today, we're going to kind of center on the last time East Carolina and North Carolina State played in a bowl game. And for some Pirate fans, and probably so, the history of Pirate football, it was the greatest season in the history of Pirate football, and it ended with East Carolina knocking off NC State by the final of 37-34, the big comeback in the fourth quarter. And some of those stars in that game actually became, basically Pirate legends through the years. And we're going to kick it off with one of our all-time favorites, the former 3-time Super Bowl champion with the Dallas Cowboys. He is Robert Jones, and he's got a surprise for us this morning. Robert, how are you?
I'm great, Brian. How about you, man?
Doing great. Just getting ready for the big bowl game. Are you going to go up to Annapolis?
Brian, I'm probably not going to make it to Annapolis. You know why, Brian? Because I get cold fast.
No, you do. You get cold fast. Was it cold? Was it cold on January 1st, 1992 in that Peach Bowl?
Well, first of all, see, there were things that were different. I was, 21?
Yeah, you were.
And then I had a lot of adrenaline.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even tell you if it was a nice day. I just knew it wasn't raining and it was time to play.
I remember that it was cooler than I thought it was going to be, and I underdressed. But as you said, the adrenaline and the crowd and everything else kind of kept everything a little warmer. But it was cooler than I thought. Now, Robert, you've got a special guest for us that was a big star in that game as well, right?
That's right. I got Deion on the phone. Deion and I talk quite often. Deion Johnson, who played wide receiver for us at East Carolina when we played. But he's here, not in the flesh. He's on the other line, and I was just excited to get him here because I felt like you guys needed an offensive perspective as well as a defensive perspective.
Well, you're right. We do. We've got Jeff Blake later on. We've got Luke Fisher and Hunter Gallimore later on. But let me tell you something. Deion Johnson was a key member. He scored the touchdown just before the iconic one scored by Luke Fisher. But Deion Johnson had that big punt return as well. Deion, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, Billy? Pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. What are you up to these days?
Oh, man, just supervising, man, taking care of grown men. That's it.
What kind of job are you supervising the grown men in?
I'm supervising a dairy company, man.
Okay, good. Well, good. Well, that's yeah. I tell you, do you think back to the days at East Carolina often?
Man, actually, I do, man. I think back often, man. Every time I see them playing on TV, man, But, I'm older now, so it's in a different perspective now. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny.
I'm rooting for the young guys now.
Yeah, and they are young guys. But it's funny. Even when I talk to Robert or Jeff Blake or some of those guys, I still think of those guys as being, like, much younger than me. And I forget the fact that when we went to the Peach Bowl that year, like, I was 28 or 29, and they were all, 21, 22, 23, something like that. So, because now you guys are old like me, right?
That's right.
Oh, no. We're not like you, Brian. We're just older.
Yeah, you're just older than you were back then, but you're not old like me, right, Robert?
Yeah. No, we're not old like you. We're just older.
I appreciate that. Robert, what do you remember about Deion and his play in the whole season and in the Peach Bowl?
I tell you what, man. What I remember is like a hold. It's like watching our offense that year with Jeff, Deion, and Luke Fisher, Clayton Driver, those guys, man, they were exciting to see. So it was never a moment that I sat on the bench and just felt like, I don't need to watch the offense unless, Coach Hux or somebody was shouting at me that we need to, put this play in or whatever it was. But I was excited about watching them. And in the Peach Bowl, being the game that it was, we were down 17 points. I think it was 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was 8:40, I think.
Yeah, 8:40, something like that. I've always been excited about watching them on the sideline, but then in that game, I stood up and I'm like, come on, guys, we need you. And it just clicked, and things started clicking. Just Magic got going, Deion's Magic, Luke kicked in there. It's like guys just stepped up and did their job and did what they were supposed to do. And the outcome of the game.
That's right. I'm telling you, and any Pirate fans that are listening right now, if you're bored during the holidays, if you got some time on your hands, if you'll go to YouTube and search the Peach Bowl 1992, the whole thing is on there. And I'm telling you, the Pirate players that year, the Luke Fishers, the Robert Joneses, the Jeff Blakes, it was like watching men against boys at times. I mean, and just watching the offense click and Blake running around and Luke Fisher, he had 1,000 catches in the Peach Bowl, I think, and Hunter Gallimore, what he was doing, and Dion, what he did in the Peach Bowl. I mean, it's really... it's a legendary game that you can go back and capture and watch again, but it's really to get you in the mood for this upcoming game, East Carolina and NC State. I think it's well worth your while. Robert, what do you think of this year's Pirate football team?
I think the way the guys responded with the coaching change, I thought was awesome. Starting off, I mean, the biggest thing, guys get their energy from the fans in the stadium. We didn't have that many fans. Of course, we were, losing at first in the beginning of the year. But the way they responded and the way they came back, it's sort of like how it was when we lost against Illinois. We lost that game against Illinois, but we didn't let that one game get us down. And then we just went on a roll from then. And so it's not exactly the same, but the attitude where guys responded. You respond. You come out the next week and you just play the game one snap at a time, one play at a time, and they went out there and did what they need to do, and they got themselves in a position to be in this bowl game, which I think is great because before the firing, nobody thought that we had a chance for a bowl game. So I feel good about them.
Yeah, I think they've come a long way, and I think that sometimes change is necessary in life. I'm one of those people that hate to see change at times, but I have seen it work in different ideas and different entities, and I think that that's one that we saw as well. Dion, what are your thoughts on this Pirate football team?
Man, I think as long as they cut down, they started it was like throwing a whole lot of interceptions and stuff, but they started cutting down on the mistakes, man. They started getting better and playing as a team, and they started winning. I think they won 3-4 games in a row?
Yeah, 4 games in a row, and then they dropped the Navy game at the end.
Yeah. So, man, the coaches just preparing them, man, and the kids buying into the system. That's what it's going to take for them to win.
Exactly right. All right, fellas, I know you guys are busy with the holidays and that kind of thing. Robert, have you gotten that lovely wife of yours a Christmas present yet?
No, I haven't gotten it yet. The kind of Christmas present I want to get her, Brian, it's not something you can go put in a stocking or you can wrap and put up under the tree. It's a little bigger than that. So
yeah, I know what she really wants, Robert.
Hey, Brian.
She wants a hug from me.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Hey, he ain't got that present. He's stuttering too much, man.
You're right about that, Dion. He's stuttering too much. He hasn't got that present yet, has he?
He hasn't got that present yet. He's stuttering.
This present, you got to drive around to the different places, man. You got to make sure you're getting the right one.
We hear you, Robert. We hear you. All right, we're going to take a commercial break. I want to thank Robert Jones and Dion Johnson for joining us today on our show. Fellas, have a great holiday. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll see you down the road. We'll catch up with you again soon. How about that?
All right, you too, man.
All right, Robert Jones, Dion Johnson, part of that big team in 1992 that knocked off North Carolina State in the Peach Bowl. We'll take a commercial break right now. We'll come back with more on the Brian Bailey Show. Luke Fisher, the fine tight end, is coming up next. Later on, Jeff Blake and Hunter Gallimore. We're back with more on the Brian Bailey Show after this.
This is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11 north of the airport in Greenville. It was the Commanders taking on the Saints yesterday. You heard the game right here on Pirate Radio.
Daniels still on the move, stumbled at the 25, now throws into the end zone, and it's caught! It's caught! Terry McLaurin! Touchdown, Commanders!
Jaden Daniels threw for 2 touchdowns, and the Saints could not convert a 2-point conversion, and Washington beats New Orleans 20-19. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break. I'm Shirley Rhodes.
This is John Gavigan with the Gavigan Agency. Our top priority is doing what is best for our members. Whether you are buying a new vehicle, a new home, protecting your family with life insurance, or filing a claim, our agency will be there every step of the way. Our goal is to become a trusted advisor for you and your family for all of your personal and commercial insurance needs. Give us a call in Greenville at 756-1400 for a car, home, business, or life insurance quote today, and give us the opportunity to show you the benefits of doing business with someone who cares.
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier restaurant and bourbon authority. Jefferson's, Basil Hayden, Woodford Reserve, and a Midwinter Night's Dram are just a few of the incredible bourbon options. The Rick House features the very best steaks and fresh, made-from-scratch pastas. The Rick House can host your corporate event or special parties in the 3,000-square-foot banquet hall. Join the Rick House for Sunday brunch from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and for the wine tastings on the last Friday of every month. The Rick House.
There's a common misbelief today that to make it further, you need to push yourself, that you need to give up any joy to continue your rigid routine. Or you could try another way. Take some time to enjoy life, like having a Michelob Ultra with friends, because happiness is essential to living an exceptional life. Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Michelob Ultra, proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989.
The holiday season is a special time of year, one that is meant to be spent with family, friends, and loved ones, offering a heart filled with gratitude, joy, and hope. Pitt County Schools is thankful for a community that inspires our students by providing growth opportunities and investing in our teachers and staff with continued support. The arrival of a new year also presents a fresh beginning. So if you're interested in creating a rewarding future by becoming engaged with an award-winning school system that is centered around educational and leadership advantages, we are hiring. Pitt County Schools encourages you to become a part of our team to help ensure success for the posterity of Eastern North Carolina. To fill out an application, please visit our website today at pittschools.org. That's pittschools.org to learn how we grow minds and invest in our future through 38 schools and one community. Education, the key that unlocks doors of opportunity.
Hey everybody, this is David Glenn, and you're listening to my favorite station in Eastern North Carolina, Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community-owned utilities mean local control, low rates, and high reliability. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. We continue on taking a look back at the last time East Carolina and North Carolina State battled in a bowl game. That was the 1992 Peach Bowl, won by East Carolina 37-34. The guy who scored the game-winning touchdown in that game, the tight end Luke Fisher, joins us now. Luke, how are you in this busy holiday season?
I'm doing well, Brian. Thanks for asking.
Are you going to make the trip to Annapolis for the bowl game?
You know, I'm in the process of trying to work it out right now with work and what's going on. I'm looking up flights and whatnot. It's going to be a last-minute decision because I'm super, super busy, but I'd love to try and make it if I can.
I think Pirate Nation would love to see you there for sure because, as we were just talking to Robert Jones and Deion Johnson, but, you know, some of you guys play in a bowl game like that. You have the greatest season in Pirate football history, finished 9th in the nation in the AP poll. But I don't think any of us at that time realized just what legendary people you guys would become in Pirate football lore. I mean, it's really something that I never really thought about it then, but basically that's what it is. I mean, Jeff Blake and Luke Fisher and Robert Jones. I mean, you guys are icons.
Well, listen, there's been a lot of tremendous players come through ECU. I mean, we just happened to be on the right side with the bowl game, and you know, we finished very well, and you know, something to be said about our team for sure. But, you know, can't take away from some of the other great players and teams that have come through there.
I was telling the folks in the last segment the fact that you can go on YouTube and actually watch the Peach Bowl, and you can actually find some of the other highlights from that season, and just watching the way the offense flowed and the way Jeff orchestrated things, and, you know, passes to you, passes to Deion Johnson, to Hunter Gallimore. And, you know, the guy that I think was one of the most, the best players on that team that rarely gets recognized, but I thought he was incredible, was Cedric Van Buren. And how many third down catches did he make? Between Cedric Van Buren and yourself, you guys got first down after first down after first down, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, that was a complete team effort for sure. Everybody, even the special teams and Dion running the ball back, and you mentioned Jeff and some of the other guys, but it's a team effort and a team win for everybody for sure.
When you're in the middle of that season, obviously you guys opened with that loss to Illinois, and there was controversy at the end of the game because of the celebration penalty. But when you get back, and I think the thing that we kind of lose sight on is that this wasn't a successful Pirate football program at the time. This team had struggled for so long, and it was a veteran team. And it kind of meshed, upset here, big win here. I mean, it kind of came together that season, didn't it?
It did. I think we got a little notoriety beginning of the season before the season started, playing in that first game, and coming as close as we did. And that penalty that was called, obviously, I think they came back a couple weeks later and apologized, said the penalty shouldn't have been called.
Right.
But I think staying in that game and coming back and playing as well as we did, I think gave us some confidence going in and moving forward for the rest of the season or the rest of the year. So it definitely helped, even though it was a loss. I think it definitely put things into perspective for us and said, hey, we can do this. We need to, go to it, so to speak.
Take us to the Peach Bowl in '92. It's the fourth quarter. There's 8 minutes and 41 seconds to play. You look up at the clock, and you guys are down 34-17. You hear the fans, the Pirate Nation, chanting, "We believe." Did you believe, and did you think, hey, we can still come back and win this game?
Well, it's kind of weird. I think we talk about this every so often, and for some reason, it's hard you can't even put it in the words, but it was a feeling, and I had that feeling all along that it didn't matter how far we were getting behind because I knew we were going to come back and win that game.
And that's really uncanny when you think about it because, so many things in that particular game went wrong that didn't go wrong during the regular season. And because you guys didn't have any big come from behinds that I can remember during that season. But it just seemed like, I guess the one, I do remember the Pittsburgh game was a game where you guys came behind late. And that was the infamous cannon game when the cannon went off and scared me. And we've seen that a million times. But but it just seemed like it was one of those things, and I heard the crowd, and I said, man, can they come from behind? Yeah, they can, but they got to get some things going quickly, and all of a sudden you guys did, didn't you?
We certainly did. We went to the 2-minute offense, and something we had practiced for, and everybody jokes about how Logan put it in when Coach Lewis was away or something.
Yeah.
But, as soon as we hit the 2-minute and we just started rocking and rolling and completion after completion, and then our defense did a great job getting us the ball back as well. You got to remember that.
What do you think about the college football of today and the difference in when you played? Because, what I see is a lot of the stars of that team, the 91 season, they may have transferred out just because they could. I mean, they couldn't then, obviously, but we've lost something with tradition. We've lost something with, being held accountable, developing players. I mean, there is no developing players anymore. It's like, you take them for 2 years and I'll take them for a year and you take them for the last. I mean, it's just gotten out of hand. It's gotten crazy. It's got to change, you think, but nobody's really changed it. But do you ever think about that?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm still in touch with a lot of the guys, as you probably know, and we talk about it. It's a shame what's happened, to be honest with you. It's like the Wild West, and there's no loyalty. There's no anything. Guys are just – it's a shame when the money part of it is what drives a lot of the people. And I can't take it away from the players. They want to get paid because they can now, so you can't hold it against them. But to me, I've always played the game because I loved it. Even when I got to the pros, it was more of a business part of it, and I still love the game, but I saw that side of it, which I didn't appreciate nowhere near as much.
Yeah, you think back to just what you guys were going through, and if somebody, you hadn't had a lot of success, and somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, I can get you $120,000 to come over here and play tight end." I mean, not that you would have gone, but you had to think about it, right?
It's a shame. It really is. I mean, I like I said, I wouldn't hold anything against some of these kids that want to do that, but at the end of the day, I have my teammates that are like brothers. Anybody on that team, we can pick up a phone call and make a call, and it's like it's back there like it was 25, 30 years ago. I don't know. It's not good for what's been happening. I can tell you that, and I don't know how they're going to handle it, but they definitely have to do something to get it figured out and get it fixed.
I agree with you 100%. All right, let's go back to the Peach Bowl now. 1992, that January 1st day, Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. The last game played in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. It's the fourth quarter. You guys are rallying for the winning touchdown. The winning touchdown you scored. Take us through that play. What was the play call? What were you supposed to do? I think it was an option route, if I remember correctly, because I know we've talked about it before. But what did you do on that play, and what were you thinking?
Well, like you said, it was an option route, so we had spread the field pretty good, and I ran down, I don't know if it was 10, 15 yards. I think it was about 15 yards, and you kind of see where the linebackers are settling out, and, you make the turn, and Jeff and I were on the same page for sure, so he put the ball and timed it perfectly where I turned and got my head around, and the ball was right there. So as soon as I was able to catch it and run after the fact. That's what I loved about Jeff. Him and I were on the same page, and he had such a strong arm. He'd get the ball to me quick, would give us time to run after you catch the ball.
How many times have you signed that iconic picture of you scoring the game-winning touchdown through your life?
It's funny. I don't even think I have the picture myself. But
somebody's got to get Luke that picture. Jiminy, we got to get that done.
It's all good, though, man.
That's awesome. I remember where I was standing on that play, and the picture has a lot of people on the sideline, and I think I'm like two people down from where the picture cuts it off. So I didn't quite make the picture, but it's one of those that you can find just about anywhere in Greenville. And man, just the thought. Every time I look at that picture, I think back to that day and just think back to that whole season. And I was a young sportscaster at the time, and I was going to tell Jeff Blake this in just a few minutes, but I'll tell you this. It's weird because at that time I didn't realize that A, that you guys were going to be legendary people in Pirate football, but B, that I was making lifetime friends. And that's basically, what's happened. I've known Jeff all these years, Luke all these years, Robert Jones all these years. I mean, I just ran into Hunter Gallimore, by the way. I hadn't seen him in a long time and saw him at the U.S. Open this past spring. And so I ran into him. He's going to be on the show with us in just a few minutes. But, you guys are all lifelong friends, and I still think of you guys as being young.
Well, that's funny. I know it flies. I can tell you that, and even though the mindset's there, the body isn't. But I agree. I mean, all those guys, and that many years ago, you don't think about it at the time as you're living it. But the older you get, the nostalgic part of it comes back, and you start having those memories. Because at the end of the day, that's all you really have.
That's exactly right, and every day is a gift. That's why they call it the present. And that's what I forget. I think Rick Smith told me that saying one time, and I thought, yeah, that's great. I'm sure he didn't make it up, but I mean that's basically what we're looking at. You got to take every day as a special day, indeed. Luke Fisher joining us. Luke, I hope you get a chance to make it to the bowl game. If you do, hit us up. We'll catch up for a few minutes. But thanks so much for being with us today and sharing some of those memories.
You got it, Brian. Have a great one.
I appreciate it. Luke Fisher, the fine tight end from East Carolina's bowl team from 1992, the last time ECU and North Carolina State played in a bowl game. We'll take a commercial break right now. Coming up next, the quarterback, Jeff Blake, another wide receiver, Hunter Gallimore, back as our show continues after this.
This holiday season, give the gift of comfort and adventure at Fleet Feet in Greenville. Whether you're running through the snow or just strolling through the mall, they've got the perfect shoes and gear for everyone on your list. Stop by and choose from top brands like Brooks, Hoka, and Asics. From cozy socks to performance running shoes, Fleet Feet has everything you need to keep you moving all year long. Stop by Fleet Feet in Greenville at 207 East Arlington Boulevard and unwrap the perfect gift for the runner in your life, or treat yourself. Merry Christmas and happy running from Fleet Feet, where the season's best are just a step away.
I'm Donald Stocks, owner of Pip Marketing Signs Print. We are your one-stop shop for just about anything printed. If we're not your go-to printer, please give us a call at 355-1636. We have over 80 five-star Google reviews and want you to be our next more than satisfied and well-pleased customer. Check us out at growatpip.com or stop in to see us at 3185 Mosley Drive in Greenville. Pip, where business goes to grow.
This Christmas, let UBE help Santa fill the sleigh with purple and gold. UBE and PirateWear.com has everything an ECU fan could want, from warm pirate hoodies, crews, and jackets, to ECU wall hangings and ornaments. UBE and PirateWear.com also has the largest selection of apparel, gifts, and stocking stuffers for your little pirates. UBE and PirateWear.com has the largest selection of ECU merchandise, and they're your one-stop shop for everything on your Christmas list. Happy holidays from UBE and PirateWear.com.
This is Aaron Williams with New Blue Service Group. People have been asking, what's new at New Blue? And I'm always glad to tell them that we now specialize in crawl space moisture control and encapsulations, along with septic system repairs and installations. As always, we offer plumbing, electrical, and HVAC, all while redefining service excellence. So go ahead, contact us at callnewblue.com. That's callnublue.com. Go Pirates.
Where do you find the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Eastern North Carolina? It's DriveHereNow.com. DriveHereNow.com is a combination of 4 dealerships in Eastern North Carolina with a fully stocked inventory of over 200 SUVs, trucks, and cars. If you're looking to upgrade your vehicle or purchase for a new driver in the house, get shopping today at DriveHereNow.com. DriveHereNow.com, supporting the Pirates for over 47 years.
At Tiebreakers, we pride ourselves on serving
big, juicy wings.
I'm talking
big and juicy.
Our chickens are the same ones that kick sand in the other chickens' faces. If our chickens played football, they'd be linebackers. The competition's chickens, they'd be
skinny little kickers.
Trade those kickers in for linebackers. Join us today for
big, juicy wings.
All season long at Tiebreakers.
Tiebreakers, with 2 locations in Greenville and on Railroad Street in Winterville.
This is Holt Nailers, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community owned, community powered. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. We move now to the quarterback as we continue to take a look at the last time East Carolina and North Carolina State battled in a bowl game. That was January 1st, 1992. And the quarterback, Jeff Blake, joins us now. Jeff, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, Brian. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing great, doing great. When you think back to that bowl game and just everything that happened in it, did you have any idea at the time that we'd still be talking about it this many years later, about what an iconic game that it was?
Well, it was a great game, Brian. And I figure, when you play a great game like that, it kind of stands the test of time. So it was a really good game, and the way we came back, to win that game, it's kind of hard to forget.
I tell you, and it ended up with East Carolina being the number 9 team in the Associated Press college football poll, the greatest season in East Carolina Pirate history. And the thing that was really magical about it, and I was talking to Robert and Luke Fisher about this earlier, is that this was a Pirate program, a Pirate team that really hadn't had a lot of success. And you guys go out in the first game and lose in a controversial fashion with the penalty on the celebration, lose at Illinois, but you played really, really well. And then you kind of got it rolling that season, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think it's the fact that we had really good coaches. And we had a good coaching staff. We didn't realize it at that time, but we had a really good coaching staff, and they had good game plans for us. And the guys really bought into it, to what we were doing. And we did a great job as a group and as a team of executing, each week to put ourselves in a position to win a lot of these games.
You know, when you think back to East Carolina and North Carolina State, I think it was 1987 when the Pirates won 32-14. The fans tore down the goalpost. Jim Valvano was the AD, I think, at State at the time, and decides, hey, we're going to cancel the series. So in 92, when you guys get a chance to play North Carolina State, Pirates were 12th in the country and State was 21st. So it's two nationally ranked teams playing in that game. But I think that was part of the attraction. And, you know, it wasn't the national championship game, but for folks, you know, in Raleigh and east of Raleigh, it kind of was, wasn't it?
Yes, sir, it was. I mean, you have two high-ranked teams like that going into a New Year's Day bowl game and being the Peach Bowl. It's a big game. It's a really big game, especially to be the first game on that day. And it starts the bowl series. So a lot of eyes are going to be on you. So it was a big game for both institutions. And I'm just glad we came out on top.
8:41 to play in the fourth quarter. You look up and you're down 34-17. So you got to come from behind. You hear the fans in the stands, you know, chanting, "We believe, we believe." You're the quarterback in the huddle. Did Jeff Blake believe, and how did you get that thing going?
Well, I had to believe.
That's right.
No choice. We had to believe. You know, I think we just took one play at a time, Brian. We took one play at a time, and we just executed one play at a time. Play would come in, we would execute it, and just keep chopping it down the field till we got to the end zone. Guys made plays on both ends of the ball, offense and defense. Defensively, we were able to make some plays to shut them down to where they had to get a ball back to us real fast. And of course, Dion had a really good punt return on that one punt return that put us in good field position to go in and score real quick. And chop it down real fast before we got the ball back and drove it down to the last drive to win the game.
Yeah, we had Dion with us. He was on with Robert Jones a few minutes ago, and he was talking about some of the plays in that game, the punt return, and he had the touchdown before the Luke Fisher touchdown that won the game. Take us through the game winner now. You know, Luke's in the huddle, you're in the huddle. Luke runs a route where he kind of can go one way or the other. It's kind of an option route, and you know, you read it right, he read it right. He said that you always knew how to get the football to him and where to get the football to him, and that was one of your gifts.
Yeah, it was just an act of, you know, watching the receiver do what he do, you know, and not trying to anticipate so much, but let him work and then get the ball to him. I think sometimes quarterbacks try to anticipate so much and they miss open opportunities. But Luke always did a good job of finding the open spot, you know, not running to get covered, and that's what he did on that play. He actually had a 12-yard base route, which is a in route. Saw the linebacker sitting inside and said, well, you know, I think it's better for me to come back out. And I actually saw him do it and was able to hit him in stride, and he was able to get in the end zone.
Tell you knew more about that route than Luke did because Luke is kind of generic about it. I think your memory's better.
Yeah, well, that was a pivotal point of the game, you know. So yeah, I definitely remember that.
Yeah, it really was. So you're on the sideline, you're watching NC State drive, and they decide to kick a field goal. Back then, there was no overtime, so they're going to go for the tie. What were you thinking when the field goal kicker comes out and attempts the field goal?
Honestly, I was hoping they missed it, but I didn't want to play no more. I was exhausted.
You didn't want to go to overtime anyway, right?
I didn't want to go to overtime anyway. I was complete. I think we all were. We left it all on the football field. I can promise you that.
I tell you, that was some kind of celebration afterwards. The thing I asked Robert about, and I'm asked Luke about, is college football has changed so much, and that team was a veteran team that didn't have a lot of success, you know, for 2-3 years, and then got it rolling in the 1991 season. If that team were together today, you know, guys would probably be transferring out because you haven't had a lot of success, and you obviously had some talent. How hard would it have been for Jeff Blake to say, no, I'm going to stay here at East Carolina?
I don't think it would have been hard. You know, we just different mentality, different generation of kids.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we could go in and we had to compete for a job. You know, the best way to be successful is to go out and win a position, not be expected to get in one. So I think a lot of kids feel like, you know, if I'm at number 3 spot, I can go somewhere else and be number 1 instead of just staying there and competing until they are number 1. I just think kids think differently, and they want it easier than I guess what we had the opportunity to do. You know, we were gonna work for it. You know, and we loved our school. We loved being there. We love Greenville. We love the Pirates, and you know, and once you become one, you know, you bleed purple and gold. It is what it is at that point.
I tell you, and you say it so well, but it's disheartening when you see so many people leave for greener pastures, and sometimes those pastures aren't so green.
They're not. You know, it's all about the culture of the place you're at and at the school you are. And if you're in love with the culture, then you stay there. You know, regardless if you're getting a lot of playing time or not, you just got to work your behind off to get that opportunity. You know, and the people who do that wind up reaping the rewards from it.
Jeff Blake has had tremendous talent, went to the NFL, had a tremendous career, but he may not be the most talented member of his family because his daughter has a lot of talent as well. She had a great run, didn't she?
Yes, she did. She did. I was very proud of her. You know, she had a great run on The Voice, and it's going to really help boost her career out even more. So.
I tell you, that was fun to watch and fun that you were a part of that. And she's a sweet girl, and we were all rooting for her. And you know, she didn't win it all, but she went a long way, and I think she made some inroads, as you said. But tell her we said congratulations, Jeff. Anything you want to say to Pirate Nation? You going to go to Annapolis and see the bowl game?
Oh man, I wish. I wish. You know, I'm down here at IMG, man. They keep us busy. We're recruiting ourselves. And
I bet.
Doing placement right now. Recruiting. Matter of fact, I just came out of office. East Kentucky was in my office. You know, talking to some of our players. So it's just nonstop. You know, and some schools are already starting to recruit early right now because they're getting ready for that January rush. So they're trying to sneak in here a little bit, a couple of weeks early. So, but I just want to say to Pirate Nation, man, just keep your heads up. You know, we're gonna always be that team, that blue collar team that's gonna work hard, and we're gonna always have our season. You know, we just got to be ready and prepared when that season comes. And hopefully, when we do have that season, we can keep our coaching staff and they don't leave and go someplace else.
That's right. That's right, because that's what happened there. Jeff Blake joining us. Jeff, have a great holiday season here, and we'll catch up with you soon.
All right, Brian. Appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Jeff Blake, the quarterback from that 1992 Peach Bowl championship team. And now one of the guys he liked to throw to is Hunter Gallimore. He's going to join us right now. Hunter, how are you today?
I'm doing good, Brian. How about you?
It's good to hear your voice. I was telling somebody earlier in the show that I hadn't heard from you or talked to you in so long, and then we ran into each other at the U.S. Open, and you walked up and you were like, you know where I am? And I knew the eyes, but I just couldn't put a finger on it. But it was great seeing you then and talking to you, and glad you're doing so well. And then last night you sent me, this is funny, you sent me a picture, and I was half asleep. I looked at it. I said, man, Hunter's had another baby. He's got another child. And then I woke up this morning, and I saw the note said that was your first grandchild. So congratulations on the grandchild. I'm telling you, I keep thinking you guys are young still, but basically you're getting old like myself. Not quite as old as I am, but it's been a good run, hasn't it?
We're young at heart, but our bodies are falling apart.
That's right. Always young at heart. What do you remember most about that Peach Bowl championship team, Hunter?
You know, just the fellowship between all the players. I mean, that was kind of all season long, the theme, and then also just the support in the fans in the stadium there. That really we never stopped believing, and we saw it in the fans in the stadium too. So that was always that helped us tremendously.
I asked Jeff this too. I asked Deion Johnson earlier, but you're in the huddle. You're down, 34-17, 8:41 to play. And everybody I asked said, yeah, I still believed. Did you still believe in that huddle you were going to come back and win that game?
I did. I mean, I don't think any of us had any doubt that we weren't going to win that game somehow. I mean, our defense played so good. Offense was clicking. Special teams was doing well, but I had a feeling, just like everybody else did on the players, that we were going to come back somehow and win that game.
When you actually won that game, did you have any idea that 30 years later, 35 years later, we're still talking about what a big game it was for the program? It was the greatest season in Pirate football history. We're talking about it today basically because East Carolina's getting ready to play North Carolina State in another bowl game. But just the memories of that game.
Yeah, no idea that it would be still 30 years later would be talking about this. I mean, I look forward to one day, hopefully soon, that we'll be talking about another Pirate team that has a better record than us, and I look forward to that one day.
I've been looking forward to that for a long time covering this team, and we haven't had it yet, but hopefully it's still around the corner because I don't know how many more years I've got left. But, you just think about everything that team went through, and I've said it a couple times during this hour, but it was a program that hadn't had a lot of success, and you guys lose the first game, but then you started getting some momentum. I think one of the greatest games in Pirate history was the South Carolina win, and you had such a big part in that game. I've never seen a guy run as fast as you ran in that game.
Well, the referee outran me, so. And so, but no, you're right though. I mean, I think going into that season, we knew we had something special. We had a good off season with with Jeff Blake and Steve Logan, gave us a lot of flexibility in our offense, and I think in the years past before that season, I honestly think we just went into games hoping to win, and that season we went into games expecting to win. And when you have a different mind frame like that, it really went through the whole season like that. So I think that really, and then the fellowship, I mentioned it earlier with all the players. I mean, we were there for years together, and we knew each other well, and I think that was a strong reason why we were successful.
Yeah, and it's really just a shame that we're in a college football age now that's gotten totally out of hand with people in the transfer portal and the NIL money. And I asked Jeff, even yourself, I mean, you have I think you only had like 17 receptions going in to that last year. But even at that, if somebody saw some talent in Hunter Gallimore and said, hey, I can get you 20, 30, 40, whatever $1,000 it is, and that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing all these kids get offered all this money, and sometimes it turns out to be a lie, and it's just a mess. Can you imagine what that team, could they have kept a Robert Jones because he had all those tackles and everything else, or Jeff Blake? Could that team have stayed together in this day and age?
You would have liked to think that we would have all stayed together.
Yeah,
right. It's a different mentality these days, but I know Robert and Jeff and Luke and those guys would have been offered a lot where nobody would offer me anything.
Oh, they would have got you a snack or something. But you were a huge part of that team. I mean, that your senior year, I mean, it was uncanny. I think we talked about it because I became pretty good friends with a lot of you guys. We were down in Atlanta for what seemed to be like 2 weeks getting ready for that bowl game. And I don't know if you remember or not, at the Hooters that night is when they shaved my mustache, because I originally had told some of you guys that, look, if you guys win, enough games to go to a bowl game, because I didn't know if they were actually going to do it, I said you could shave my head. And then after a couple more wins, I thought, we're not shaving the head, but we will shave the mustache if you guys can do it. And everybody at that Hooters that night took a turn with that dull razor somebody found, and had me all bloodied up with. I still have scars from that deal, but that. Yeah, it was something else. But just everything that goes along with a bowl game and the camaraderie, and you could just tell that you guys were a special group.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a great experience. Like you said, we were down there seemed like it forever, but it was and then again, the fans, the support down there, and the support all year long we had that season was tremendous. I mean, you mentioned South Carolina game earlier. I mean, the other game that comes to my mind is where the fans were going crazy, and I'm not sure if that stadium that probably cracked it was for the Pittsburgh game.
Oh yeah,
and that was a great game too.
And the Pittsburgh game, when you guys came from behind and won it, you had that catch right down to like the 1 or 2 yard line, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Jeff threw it in there, and I got tackled at the 1, and then Jeff took it on in there after that.
Yeah, and that was the infamous Cannon game, because it was during that stand-up after the 2-point conversion is when that daggone Cannon got me, and that one has lived forever, a long, long time, and I'll never get. I told some people I might put that video on my tombstone so people can come up, pay the last respects, hit play, and get a little laugh out of the Cannon. So, but that was a fun game. That was one of the craziest in Dowdy Ficklen Stadium history, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It just, you go back and watch those videos and just see everybody jumping up and down. And like I said, I'm sure that we probably cracked the stadium there, but it was a good environment there. I look forward to having that same thing on the later this month in the bowl game.
All right, you going to make it up to Annapolis?
I am. My wife and I are going up there. We're actually driving and going to pick Pete Zophi and his wife up. And
great.
and then go on over there on that Friday morning. So we're planning to look forward to it.
Well, good. Well, tell the wife I said hello. She's way too young to be a grandmother, you know.
Well, I know that. All she said she wanted for Christmas was a big old hug from you.
That'll work. I keep telling Robert Jones that's what his wife wants for Christmas, but he didn't. He's thinking otherwise. But you tell her I've got one in Annapolis for her.
Okay.
All right. Appreciate you being on with us. Hunter Gallimore joining us today as we continue on the Brian Bailey Show today. Hunter, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
All right. We'll take our final break. Back to wrap it up after this.
The Pirates are going bowling, and we've got all the info you need to know about the Military Bowl right here on Pirate Radio. We'll kick off the Bud Light pregame tailgate Saturday, December 28th at 1:45 p.m. as we get ready for East Carolina and NC State. And after the game, the final edition of the U.S. Sailor fifth quarter call-in show will take your calls late into the night, recapping the Military Bowl and the 2024 season. Join us December 28th for the Bud Light pregame tailgate and the U.S. Sailor fifth quarter call-in show right here on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
Bring your favorite styles home for the holidays from Bostic Sugg Furniture. Make your home holiday ready. We have just what you need to spruce things up and add some sparkle this season. Surround yourself in comfort and style with holiday savings store-wide on Bassett, Lazy Boy, Serta, and more. Save up to 70% off closeouts plus 6 months special financing. Gift yourself the perfect home this holiday season during Bostic Sugg Furniture's Home for the Holidays.
This is Aaron Williams with New Blue Service Group. Our technicians stand ready to face any challenge that time or the elements may throw at your home. Your home deserves the best, and New Blue is here to help with all of your plumbing, electrical, and HVAC needs. Facing electrical issues due to the elements? We're on it. Plumbing concerns or emergencies? We're ready to fix it. HVAC struggling to keep up? We'll bring the climate back under control. So go to callnublue.com today. Go Pirates.
Michaels & Gateway Cosmetic and Family Dentistry has been Greenville's premier dental practice for over 40 years. I am Dr. Chris Gateway, and our mission at Michaels & Gateway is to provide exceptional dental care with compassion, integrity, and innovation, ensuring every patient leaves with a healthy, confident smile. Doctors Michaels & Gateway are committed to providing an outstanding patient experience with every visit. Not only do we offer all your dental needs under one roof, in most cases, we can take care of those needs on the same day. Bring your smile to us at Michaels & Gateway Cosmetic and Family Dentistry.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, this is State Farm agent Timothy Sawyer right here in Greenville. We can switch your auto and home insurance so you can start saving today. My team and I are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Timothy Sawyer State Farm, it's easy to switch and save. Just give us a call, 493-0002. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
There's no better time to shop Russell's in downtown Washington than right now. Don't let a cancellation or back order spoil your Christmas. I'm Rhonda Lyons, and I can assure you we have a store full of goodies to satisfy anyone on your list. If you can't decide on the perfect gift, just select a gift certificate for any amount you desire. This shopping is easy, and the signature gift wrap is free and beautiful. Remember, it's all about you, our pirate friends and customers at Russell's in downtown Washington.
Pirate Radio.
Get it in here. I got one thing to say. This is when the big dogs come out. Damn right. Okay? Damn right. You can't roll with the big dogs.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, providing reliable utility solutions to the Greenville region since 1905. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show as we wrap things up. I want to thank Steve Beck, the executive director of the Military Bowl, for joining us, and then guys from that team from 1992's Peach Bowl, the last time East Carolina, NC State played in the bowl game. Quarterback Jeff Blake, linebacker Robert Jones, wide receiver Deion Johnson, tight end Luke Fisher, and wide receiver Hunter Gallimore. Just great guys that have become great friends throughout the years with East Carolina Pirate football and the history of Pirate football. That's our last show for 2024. We got a couple of weeks off and we'll be back with you in 2025. So we'll see you then. As far as the Brian Bailey Show is concerned, we'll of course be a part of the Bud Light pregame tailgate from the Military Bowl coming up on December the 28th. That's our show for today. Have yourself a great sports couple of weeks, and we'll see you back here in January on the Brian Bailey Show.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, and also brought to you by
The Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg, Bojangles, Michelob Ultra, East Coast Grading, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Utilities, Papa John's, Taft and Hagler, The Rick House, and Tiebreakers.
Join us next week for another